Hey, what's up, ribbity rabtastic, wonderful, good people. Today I have something very special. Um, a story, not, I advanced, as they say in the art world, beyond the world of the bloody battle of the orcs to Overdrawn, which I can only say was a masterpiece of dystopian sci-fi that was written by three fifth graders a bunch of years ago. Um, it's called Overdrawn, and I have classified the names because I don't want anyone seeing this. The three of us mainly wrote this though, so yeah, we had to. We were in a big kick of citing all of the images, but we just cited the websites that we got them from. So that was pretty cool. Here we go. Our intro. My name is Buffalo. This story is in a world when people had no freedom. An alliance was formed with the Turtle to fight the Credit Union. The Turtle Union was the only army that could save them. The war was coming soon. Now, this first line, this may seem a little bit confusing, because it is, and it literally makes no sense. So, this story is in a world where people had no freedom. So that, I guess you can make a case for that as you read the story. But alliance was formed with the turtle. That really doesn't make any sense, and even if you read the whole story and the planned sequel, it still makes no sense at all. I'm not really sure what we meant by that. I don't remember if I wrote this or not. But essentially, they're fighting the credit union, which is in no way related to the actual real-world credit union. It is a authoritarian, like, rebel faction or something. It's still not really that well explained until the prequel, which I will eventually read as well. But here we go. This is chapter 1. Sorry if I don't scroll because my mouse is broken. It's been like this for months, and my scroll wheel just doesn't work anymore. Guards on every corner of the fort. No way the credit union could get in. Hopefully. Oh, see, there it is. Hopefully. So Commander John Miller is able to let his children play. I was up in the guard tower when in the distance I saw an army marching. It looked like a credit union flag. This was my chance to show Commander how I improved. There was too many. They were going to break in the fort. We can't hold them off. It would be wise to retreat, I said, but we kept on fighting. My knee had a very sharp pain, and I saw a bullet fly by my head. Oh no. As the firing of guns thundered in my ears, I could only mutter a small thanks as Commander Mustang took me into the medical bay. Apparently my kneecap was shattered. You took a pretty hard fall, Mustang said. I knew this definitely not the time. I was going to prove myself. I got a little replacement for you right now, said the nurse as she put down a saw. Fuck. Okay, this is all supposed to be sci-fi, but they're still sawing people's legs off, I guess. The tool looked old, but it did a good job. I could definitely move my leg. The fort walls were on fire. The credit union soldiers were marching into our fort. Many of our soldiers are retreating and dead. We had to fight for the people of Eiselbuck, which again is not really explained, as it's also called a city later, so it doesn't really make any sense. Then Iz saw the commander's kids. I had to save them. I sent 10 soldiers over there to save them. I rushed over there and saw their dead mother. If only I was there to save her, I'll get my vengeance. So this is a pretty loaded first chapter, I gotta say, but what I'll try and explain of it, because what you get here is that the credit union came in and started killing people, and that's basically all that happened. But also, I think I wrote most of this one, and I honestly don't really remember what I was thinking for most of it, but this is god damn it, this is so embarrassing, but I was a very large weeb in 5th grade. I don't know, that was just my thing. I was very into all that. My favorite show was Full Metal Alchemist, and so I just stole names straight out of it for no reason, because I thought it was cool or something, and that's where the Mustang comes from. Eiselbulk, as I mentioned earlier, I don't really know, because it's mentioned later that this is like a city that they're trying to defend, and also what is the Turtle Union. Now, what we've kind of come to the conclusion of, at least from like the prequel that we were planning on writing, is that the Turtle Union is like a faction that it's like a democratic resistance movement. It's kind of weird because I think in the prequel they were supposed to be like the major head of the government, and then the credit union, which was called the Usual Consortium at that time, rose up and attacked. It really doesn't make any sense, but basically what I'm trying to say is that the Turtle Union is the good guys, and the credit union came in and started killing people for, as we know right now, literally no reason. But now we got to go to chapter 2. We also added all these numbers here because we thought it would look really cool. Okay. We had to retreat. The general, his children, Commander Mustang, me, and 7 other soldiers survived. So out of the entire fort, it was like 10 dudes. We ran to the vast and open dry season land. It was the worst place to be. But what made me feel better was that I found an ancient green fire turtle. It was the reason we lived that day. And now we go to a flashback from 2 years ago, which also has the cool numbers. We were in the harsh winter, walking to the next camp, watching squirrels go into their cozy homes with nuts for the winter. Oh yeah, how I wished I could be a squirrel. We kept walking and walking. It felt like it would never end. If we were men had died, and we almost did, until we saw something. A turtle breathing fire. It heated our hands when we walked near it, and it worked very well as light on our way to the next camp, where Colonel Trung was waiting. It was inspiring just how wonderful this turtle was. We lost it 1 day later. It walked back into the seasoned land, moist at that time. It fell in ice. A scar went across his stomach. And so now we're back to the modern day. We saw it. The turtle's glow was magnificent. It had to be that turtle. It had the marks from the ice that got on its stomach. He was frozen solid. We needed to get him in fire. The only way we could get it to start a fire is to tame it. To do that, I needed food. Sorry, not the Foo Fighters. And I know how to get some. So this is also... it's a much less loaded chapter. Not much happened. But this whole part here about the fire-breathing turtle, it's pretty crazy. As you see, Buffalo, who is the main character if you forgot, says, "Oh, how I wished I could be a squirrel." And I'm pretty sure I wrote that line in reference, not even in reference, but it was similar to a line I wrote from another story about wanting to be a frozen duck. And I think it was just kind of, I didn't know yet, but I was becoming the man I am today. If you can figure out what I'm implying there. And also I think the misconception, because I wrote this part, but someone else wrote this part. I think Ollie wrote this part, and so he said that it was in the dry season land, but I read that as dry season land, and I thought season land was a thing, and I had no idea what it was, but I wrote it, so that's why I mentioned that there. And basically, we just met this whole thing is about the turtles, and I think that was supposed to describe what the Turtle Union was, but still, it doesn't really make any sense. Okay, chapter 3. With all the numbers again. We had to get back in and get a dead soldier's meat. Oh god. I was not a corvair. In fact, I was a soldier doing his duty. This line specifically, I don't even know. It's so... I don't know what that means. You know what? I'm gonna look up what a corvair is, because I don't think that that's what whoever said it meant. Where's corvair? Okay, so I don't think that's what they meant, unless it's like a car person. I don't know. Anyway, that turtle could come in handy. I named him Gary. It can't live with all this commotion. We had to let this piece of history live. I had a plan. Everyone agreed that it would be the plan, but the distraction, capitalized D, could get captured. I don't know what to do. Either we try to save the turtle and someone could get captured, or we could bring the turtle with us and find food. The very long... Forgot what that's called. I finally thought we should bring the turtle and find food. It was too big of a risk. And see, we have a diagram. This is a classic from the war. So here we have our soldiers, we have a wall, we have the distraction, and there's a dead body right there for the, you know. 3 months later, we settled at a village named Caladoro, which had a neutral tribe. We were talking to them to join the turtle, but they refused. Maybe if we sent hundreds of soldiers over, they will have no choice to like us and join. So that it's stuff like this where I literally have no idea, like, why we put that in there. Because if we're trying to portray the Turtle Union as, like, the good guys who would never push around a neutral tribe or something, why would they be saying this? Unless that's to foreshadow what the credit union was going to do, but I don't think that they ever did that. Anyway, it was hard to contact base leader to send troops over in the harsh weather. So is that what they were planning? Lots and lots of smooth light and hard snow. I can hear it dancing over my ear like a ballerina. We needed some kind of superstar signal, so good it can contact base in this harsh weather. I knew only one place to get one. Eiselbluck. See this, like I don't... Is that the same thing? I don't really... Also, it's spelled differently. The credit union had a superstar signal. We could steal their signal box. If we could, we might be able to finally know what secret plans they have been hiding. So I don't know what the secret plans were. It's very poorly explained, all of this, but especially what is a superstar signal and what is Eiselbluck, because that is also, the definition changes all the time. Anyway, this is 2 days ago, and now not only do we have numbers, we have a letter here. We got a T. Tell us what you're doing! Barked Mustang in the face of a captured credit union soldier.
I'll never tell!
Yelled back the prisoner.
Your people will die one by one with what we're unleashing, and I will be out of here.
No, you won't, said Mustang in a sort of quiet voice. Then he punched the prisoner unconscious and kicked one of his teeth out. He would soon tell us what their plan was, so we got the cool interrogation scene. I remember writing that part. 1 day later, still nothing. We suspected some kind of super weapon. We were horribly mistaken, except it was a super weapon, so, yeah, you'll see. This is now. So we decided to keep heading towards the base of the credit union, our old base, to steal the singular, to contact headquarters. The base would be guarded by lots of turrets and men. It was going to be a stealth mission, so we could not get spotted There's no telling what they'll do to us. They may find out the turtle plans. We must do this mission, no matter what the risk. We needed to contact the HQ. Commander Trug was acting a little off today. Said he had to take all this medicine, but we could not wait any longer, so we had to leave without him. When we got there, it was empty. No one was here. It has to be a trap, I said. Then Gary breathed fire and they all appeared. Aha, said one of the soldiers of the Turtle Union. They used invisibility cloaks, he said. I'll hack their computers, said another soldier. Then the unthinkable happened. Walls pushed us down to the ground. We were spotted by tons of them. We fought them well, but not good enough. We were cornered. It was the end. We saw General Trong. He drove his tank right into the credit union soldiers. Now get up and find that superstar signal, he said. I searched for a while but found nothing. Then I heard a shout. I found the signal, shouted a soldier. So this area here, like this whole story, but especially this part, and as it gets to later, is like Last Jedi level inconsistencies, because it's like, we're talking about how we have, like, no men, and then randomly out of nowhere, there's, like, these huge assaults, but then we only have, like, 6 guys left or something. And here, like, this dude, apparently there's all these commanders and stuff, but the only people who survived from that base, which apparently was, like, really important, was, like, 7 dudes. So our army is crippled, but at the same time, we have, like, all of these, like, this high command and stuff. It doesn't really make any sense, and it's very confusing and not explained ever. I'm not really sure what... Because I think it's because it was the 3 different people writing it, where we weren't thinking, like, we didn't read the whole thing clear enough, and we didn't know what the vision for the other people was. We're like, oh yeah, now we have like 10 billion guys. Okay, anyway. Okay, we got the signal. We had to head back to camp to get the signal started. Hey, who are you? Shouted a credit union soldier. We started firing, but we were overwhelmed, and we raced into a forest with a big crevice separating it in half. We saw searchlights and soldiers. I was hoping we wouldn't get captures today, or even worse to be, die. Is this like a Japanese translation of an arcade game? I turned and saw the signal had been shot. Now, it would never work. Hold up a minute, we almost got killed to get that signal, and it got shot? How? Who? Why? This is the last time the credit union who would do this to us. We walked back to the camp, evading any guards we could. We got back to Commander Trog. He was dead, covered in spots and scratches, and it looked like some kind of insane plague or nuclear effect. But now I have to go to the bathroom. Come back next time for same bad time, same bad channel, except for you can be like 2 seconds. Be right back. And we're back. Whatever it was not good. I turned it around, and you cannot tell how mad I was. They put a bomb on the back. It was too late. I threw it and ran. I took cover. 3, 2, 1, kaboom! It went off. I was alive. I ran over in the middle and saw Commander John dead. They tricked us. They killed a woman and our commander. We still need a signal, said Mustang quietly. That, too. I was... Jesus Christ. The story is giving me cancer. I was wiping off the dust. I was wiping of the dust on my shoulder. Then I saw something so cool. A dragon. Hey, what's going on? Yelled one of our Marines. Dunno. Looks like some kind of reptile. Wait, is that a dragon? A soldier said. Yes, I said. This was great. We were lost. What will we ever do? Oh, what will we ever do? We have to get them back. We need to strike. I could tell that they were in a Jobana forest by the trees. But where in it? We could climb that mountain up there. Then we could see where we are. 20 minutes later, surprisingly we got on top. Wonder how? Reinforcements came. There were lots of soldiers and vehicles. This land will be ours. We were told where we were. It turns out we're in Surpresa. I wondered how we got this far in such a short time. We got 400 miles away from base by what, like 2 days? I realized something. Commander Cena was gone, who was never mentioned before and was a reference entirely to the John Cena meme that was very popular at the time. He was here a minute ago. Then I noticed the other soldiers were gone. Then someone grabbed me, tied me up, and trapped me in a room. I could feel the blood slowly run down my face as A sat tied up in the chair. It was a trick. These were probably credit union soldiers. Maybe. Then a guy walked in. I saw a Usman flag. They were in the turtle side. I knew that they lived very close to here, and they were up to something. I have mistaken myself. I spoke too soon. I saw the credit union captain. He was in charge of the whole army. What? The credit union captain was in charge of the whole army? I felt so bad that I led us to these mountain. Now we were hostile to them, and it was my fault. They asked me these questions. Where are all of your bases? All of your bases? Who's leading the attack? Where are you from? If I lied or didn't answer, they would shoot me. Dead to the floor. I prayed to God, and this is what I said. Oh God, thank you for what you give us. Maybe we can be friends? Maybe? Please free me from this horror. Amen. The guy told me to shut up and answer the questions. Then the room started shaking rapidly, and lightning struck the room. Then it came off the ground and flew out off here. This is God's power. I was the only one in that room. All the other people on that mountain would die from the lighting and lie there on the grass and stone. So many dead soldiers and bodies. Too many. I always said wanted peace with them and no war. I was tempted to jump and help, but God would not want me to. I trust Commander will get out and the other soldiers. Get out and the other soldiers. It was too late. I saw no living things on the mountain. I just watched them die, and then I heard a voice. You could have saved me. The people on the mountain. I said no to these voices. Spirits. Then the spirits started singing, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. They sang that repeatedly. It was beautiful. They started to slowly float away to heaven or hell. So this is probably the weirdest chapter, because one, there's a dragon mentioned earlier in here that literally has nothing to do with the rest of the story, and it never comes up again. We have all these new things. We have Usman, we have Surpresa, we have like Jobana, which are all these new like factions and areas, and Usman I just realized we never mentioned again. Surpresa and Jobana I guess are like geographical regions that were also never mentioned again. And then we have this where apparently God is helping the Turtle Union and is killing people to save them. If you say maybe we can be friends, and there's spirits and there's like ghosts and they sing to you if you kill them or something. It's really weird. I didn't write most of this chapter. I think I wrote like this part, and then Ollie I think wrote this part, but I don't know. It's pretty awesome. Thus started to slowly float away to heaven or hell. I mean, that was, at the time we thought that was the deepest shit ever. Like, it was so cool. Like, oh my god, I can't believe he went there. It's like saying the N-word. It was awesome. Alright, so this is 3 long... Oh, this is still part of the same chapter. Alright, 3 long hours later. We got a bunch of numbers. I could not feel my head. I awoke in a meadow. Gary crawled up my chest. Then I could see smoke. I ran toward the smoke with Gary clinging to my shoulder. I see a mass fire on a city. The city was Eiselburg. See, now it's a city, and it's not a land or whatever. Was this good or bad? Did credit unions still have this base as theirs? I walked up and yelled if anyone was there. No one answered. All I could see was skeletons. Human skeletons. Oh, no way. I could not see any living thing in sight. My heart could not take the pressure. This city was a very old city. A biobomb. It had to be. These bombs caused sickness and fire. A bioweapon. We only found the plans for one of them. Pigman. Pigman, a bioweapon that was a pig and a man. It could kill and infect others in rapid succession. The only way to kill it was with a photon annihilation, although we were trying to say photon annihilator, the biggest fireball in the world. Pigman was killed before, in the old days when people still used primitive guns and ate bacon. I walked out to the dry season land. There was no one left in the Turtle Union except for the nurse that had healed my leg in the first battle. We didn't say a word. As we walked on, I heard something. There he is! I turned and saw the entire Caladoran Navy was behind us. They explained that the credit union attacked their village because they wouldn't join them. Oh yeah, okay, so that was foreshadowing. Their navy got away, and that was all. They agreed to help us attack the credit union's base. The credit union was expecting the attack. They knew there would be some type of retaliation. So even though we outnumbered them, we almost lost. Captain Mustang went charging in and dodging every bullet. Damn, this guy's kind of awesome. And climbed the base. With the help of Captain Mustang, we took the base and rose the Turtle Union flag. One day later, a man showed up. Apparently, he was infected by the credit union's new bioweapon, Pigman. It turned anybody into a man/pig that could kill and eat anything. The pigmen were going to be a new army that would be used against the Turtle Union. Pigman was going to wipe out everything. We cannot let this happen. We had to get back to the source, the credit union homeland. It had to be ours. As we took the base, we reprogrammed the turrets to fire at anything credit. Now it's our time to march on the credit union base. We marched as one with the Caladora, with Caladora, and made it to the homeland. We snuck around the base for hours. I don't know how a Navy can do that. Finally, we were spotted, fought with our hearts. All of the pain the credit union caused us was now going to mean something. Mustang shot in the head. Scene was lying down dead. Most of Caladora was lifeless, and I was filled with passion. Chief Marx, the leader of the credit union, and this is kind of where the communist authoritarian ideas come from, took out his energy blade. For all but us were dead. This final battle meant everything. He slashed and missed using slappy technique. I cut his arm off and laughed. This is insane. Tearing his uniform off and revealing his defeat. Again, this is like the gay porno. I looked to the heavens. None have died in vain.
Except you! Your goals have died with you. The end of an empire has happened, and I shall rid this land of all scourge like you. Die! Slash.
That was it. My blade entered and exited his skin like a hot knife through butter. A new banner was raised in every city. The banner of freedom. The Turtle Union. And then we have this awesome picture here of sci-fi space. The Eminent Empire, but a rebirth of freedom. And then I thought I was so cool because I ended it with a quote. The only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion. Albert Camus. So this story is amazing. But there's a couple things I wanted to talk about in this section here. Especially the Pigman thing. So the reason that we decided to have a bioweapon called Pigman and the whole photon annihilator thing was there was this series of YouTube videos that we had watched. It was called Pigman, and it was Substance 24 Films, and it was like these weird ass videos where it was like this dude wearing a pig mask and he'd like run around and kill people, and it was really funny. And so we were like, okay, we have to include that, and so I put the Photon Annihilator in there, which was in the second one. And this whole thing here, where literally the final, like the whole siege of the final city and everything, was done by, I don't know how many people, because the way that this lined up. So Buffalo was with these like commanders and generals or whatever, and it was very unclear the amount of soldiers that were actually with them, but it seemed like it was very few, and there were no actual like soldiers with Caladora except for like a navy, which I guess this place was coastal or something. So basically they had an army of like almost no one, and they took out this entire thing, which apparently the credit union army was insanely large, as I mean I guess that was alluded to. And Chief Marks, who we had never mentioned before until like the last few sentences, which was awesome, which did end up setting up the prequel, because that kind of tells the story of him. But it was seriously like, I still remember when I wrote this final part, because I thought it was like the coolest thing ever, and I was like, oh, this is the best thing I've ever made. And this last quote here, this entire thing was just, I don't even know. And then like the fight, I think it was because I was watching like freaking like Sword Art Online or something, and I was like, oh my god, so this is like he fights the guy and with the sword, and I was, oh my god, and I was like imagining anime this whole time, because it's so shit. I mean, it was written by 5th graders, so I guess you still have to keep that in mind, because we were in 5th grade, we had no idea what we were doing, but still, this is just complete insanity. Like, nothing is ever consistent. Almost everything ends up changing by the end of the story. Like, everyone's rank we would always forget, and if you notice, I think most of it was called commander, a general, a captain, just all these different things. I was like, what are we even talking about? Like, it was the same dude, but we just kept changing all this stuff and taking random names. And Pigman, which just kind of came out of nowhere, it was like in Combat Evolved when you're at the end, and or like in like whatever 343 Guilty Spark, and then they just bring the flood in out of nowhere, except instead of it coming in like halfway through, it was like right at the end, and they show up and then they immediately all die. Or wait, no, they didn't immediately all die. Pigman was never destroyed. So we killed these guys, and like almost everyone's dead, and now Pigman is there. So I guess it was, apparently we destroyed it at the source, but it never actually said that we did that. So it could just be that Pigman ends up killing everyone after this story, which is quite possible, because apparently both armies were completely decimated, except we started writing a sequel. Yeah, so I don't really know. This story is pretty much the greatest thing ever written, and I did try to revive it at some point a couple months ago, because I was like, this story is really stupid, but I was trying to make it, like, trying to make sense of all this, which is why I decided to make this video, because it's like this story is so insane, but there is kind of, if you word it correctly, it can make sense a little bit, and with the prequel that gave us a lot more room, and I'll show off the prequel. So I was going to try and explain the lore of Overdrone, but I think this would actually be best saved for a separate video. But here, I mean, you can just enjoy this, just a wonderful story, and my attempted explanation, but another video will soon come. I know no one's watching this right now, but another video will soon come about the actual lore of Overdrone, because it actually became very extensive and weird. But this is like the original Bible Man, and then there was like the Bible Man remake. So this is the original. Anyway, this has been Overdrone. I love all of you. Goodbye.